Welcome back. President Trump back on the campaign trail after recovering from his positive coronavirus diagnosis. The commander-in-chief held his first rally since then in Sanford, Florida last night, and he will head to Pennsylvania later today. Joining me right now is White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany. Kayleigh, good to see you this morning. Thanks very much for joining us. First off, you were among the White House officials who did contract COVID-19. How are you feeling now? Did you have any symptoms, Kayleigh?
No, I never had symptoms. I was entirely asymptomatic, full of energy. I guess I was one of the blessed ones not to be affected by this. I know a lot of Americans had it a lot worse.
That's terrific. So when do you expect, I mean, you're not feeling anything. Will you be getting back to work, or will you just ride this out at home? How are you dealing with this?
Yes, I'm about 48 hours away from getting to go back to work, according to CDC guidelines. So I'm very much looking forward to getting my final test and being back out there. You know, it's frustrating a few weeks from an election to be quarantined, but still working from home.
Terrific. Well, the president obviously never stopped working. I want to ask you about the president and his plans, and also Joe Biden and this latest gaffe on the campaign trail. The former vice president apparently acted as if he wasn't sure which race he was running for during a speech in Ohio yesterday. Listen to this, Kayleigh. I want to get your reaction.
Nothing can stop us. You know, we have to come together. That's why I'm running. I'm running as a proud Democrat for the Senate.
This is heartbreaking to see this. The Democrat candidate also reiterated his plan to repeal President Trump's tax legislation and raise taxes. Kayleigh, what's your reaction to all that has taken place in this campaign?
It's unsurprising to see more gaffes from Joe Biden, but the biggest gaffe of all was when he literally told a reporter that voters did not deserve to know whether he would pack the Supreme Court. Of course, voters deserve to know if he would reshape the public, as the Senate told Franklin Delano Roosevelt in the 1930s when he tried this. It would reform the Senate. It would take away the filibuster. It would change the makeup of the Supreme Court forevermore, making it a partisan body, as Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg said. So that was a massive gaffe, one of many this week, but voters do deserve to know. We do deserve answers. We deserve to know where our elected officials and certainly the President of the United States stands.
The first day of the Senate confirmation hearings of Amy Coney Barrett in the books. Monday's hearing saw Republicans stand up against court packing, while Democrat members accused the nominee of being chosen by President Trump to remove Obamacare, aid the president in the case of a contested election. And Kayleigh, now they are calling on Judge Barrett to recuse herself. Do you think Barrett will ultimately face any issues making it out of this committee?
No, she will make no issues. Have no issues making it out of committee. She has Republican senators on her side. It's a shame that this can't be bipartisan. After all, she was confirmed on a bipartisan basis not too long ago, about 2 years ago. She's eminently qualified according to the American Bar Association, people on both sides of the aisle, Harvard professors like Noah Feldman. But it's shameful because what you'll see today are Democrat attacks on Obamacare, which she has not ruled on, which she has not stated how she would come down on. We would never expect a judge to prejudge a case, but shamefully attacks on her faith. They brought up the Griswold case yesterday about contraception. And as Josh Hawley rightfully pointed out, it seemed like a blatant attack on her Catholicism, and a shameful one at that.
Well, and then Marsha Blackburn said they're attacking you on your religion because they can't attack you on your qualifications. They're that good. Let me ask you about policy before you go, Kayleigh, because Joe Biden has said that he's not going to raise taxes on anybody making more than $400,000. But at the same time, he says that he's going to reverse President Trump's tax cut plan. We know that that tax cut plan lowered income taxes for all levels of income. So if you're going to reverse that, that means all levels of income see taxes go up. But he keeps saying that it's just $400,000. Is that a lie? Is this just politics? Break it down for us in terms of what President Trump wants to do.
Maria, of course it's a lie. Of course, if you repeal the Trump tax cuts, it hurts low and middle income Americans who benefited from that. This is yet another reversal he's trying to have here on fracking too, where he said he wanted to ban it all. He said that several times, and now he's trying to reverse course. He's just doing what he has to do to win an election. But make no mistake, low and middle income taxes would go up. And also, as you well know, Maria, when you raise the corporate rate, that ends up affecting after-tax income. So it'll be a double whammy for low and middle income Americans. And they've seen their wages go up thanks to this president. He'll continue to work to make that a reality.
Well, I keep pointing out the capital gains tax because capital gains tax is at 21%. Joe Biden wants to take it up to close to 40%. That's 39.6. I can't imagine the market would be at record levels, which is where we are right now, if people thought that they were going to be charged almost 40% for selling a stock. You sell stocks, you get hit with a 40% tax. You sell your home, that's also making money. You get hit with a 40% tax if you sell your home. So the stock market is telling us one thing, that perhaps President Trump gets a second term. The polls are saying something entirely different, Kayleigh. What do you make of these polls that continue to show President Trump trailing?
Well, I think a lot of these polls don't poll likely voters, oversample Democrats, and I don't think the Trump coalition takes too well when they get a phone call from a pollster. The Trump coalition, they show up, they vote on Election Day, they wait in line at rallies, they are routinely camping out overnight and overflow lines just to see this president. They show up, they vote. They don't necessarily want to talk to a pollster or the media, but make no mistake, they're there, they're loud, and they will be out and about on November 3rd. Re-electing this president.
All right. So you think they're not even part of the sample that the pollsters are speaking with? Kayleigh, it's good to see you this morning. We wish you the best. We'll see you soon. Thank you. Kayleigh McEnany joining us this morning.